Hello, this is Dinah Lane from the Harwich Channel, and I'm here with Emily Mitchell, the town clerk of Harwich, and she is here to talk to us about all things voting and elections.
Yes.
Hi, Emily.
Hi, Dinah. Thank you for having me.
So good to see you.
It's an exciting time of year for us.
It is.
Yes.
It is. And I think people have lots of questions oftentimes about exactly how the election is run and
Yes.
how you're going to be able to access things and so forth. So I think let's start with you telling us a little bit about a couple of programs you're going to be running.
Absolutely. So we are planning two public information sessions, I guess, for lack of a better word, that are geared to answer folks' questions about sort of all facets of the voting process. So we're doing one event that is specific to different accessible voting opportunities, and then another event called Trust the Process. And that one is diving deeply into sort of every one of the processes that goes into administering an election, certifying the results, all those things. So both events happening in October, coming in the coming weeks.
Okay.
Which one would you like to hear about first?
Well, let's talk about the accessible voting information.
Absolutely.
You have a session on that.
Yes.
Okay.
So a lot of folks may not be aware that there are different technologies available to make voting more accessible, both for voters who come in person and for voters who may want to vote by mail.
Okay.
So there are resources available for anyone who may have difficulty marking a paper ballot or even coming to the polling place.
I see. Okay.
So this information session will be on October 15th. It's going to be here at the community center in the multipurpose room. And we're going to go through kind of the two types of technology that are available. So just really briefly, one is called the AutoMark, and that is a machine that is available for voters during any in-person voting opportunity. So both during early voting and of course on election day. And that's a machine that can mark the voter's ballot for them based on selections they make on a touchscreen device. So they insert their ballot into this device. It can read the ballot to you through headphones. It can enlarge the print, provide the ballot in high contrast, and then physically mark the ballot. So we're going to be demonstrating that machine, the AutoMark, in great detail.
Okay.
And also providing voters the chance to try it out themselves to make sure they're comfortable with it if they're coming in person early or on election day.
That sounds very helpful.
We're excited about it.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that's available to voters who need accommodations to vote by mail is something called Democracy Live. It's a platform that the state of Massachusetts has contracted with to allow voters who qualify, so voters who are looking for those accessibility accommodations, to actually vote electronically. So similar to the AutoMark, it allows them to see and mark their ballot on their own personal device, so their own computer, their own tablet, their own smartphone. And that's, again, kind of the alternative to voting by mail for voters looking for other options.
Okay.
So we're going to have both of those kind of live and loaded at the information session.
Great.
Available for us to demonstrate and for voters to try out themselves. So we're very excited about that.
And what is the date and time of that?
Yes, it is Tuesday, October 15th.
Okay.
Begins at 1:30. We're anticipating probably about an hour of demonstration, and then we've set aside an hour for folks to try the equipment if they'd like to.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So we're scheduled 1:30 to 3:30.
Yeah.
We are very excited that our Council on Aging has offered their accessible van to provide transportation to Harwich residents. So if anyone would have a hard time getting here, they can contact the Council on Aging and coordinate that van ride both to and from the event. They do need to schedule that one in advance. So if they're looking for a van ride, they should get in touch with our COA.
Yes.
But otherwise, the event is open to anyone, no registration required.
Right. Okay. So 1:30 to 3:30 on October 15th.
Yes.
Excellent. And I understand it's also going to be run on our station for quite a while after that.
Yes, very gracious
on the Harwich Channel.
For the Harwich Channel to film and provide that again for any folks who aren't able to come.
Okay,
yes.
So that's great.
Yes.
And plenty of time for people to talk about it, hear about it, and learn about it.
Absolutely.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, the other thing that you have is something called Trust the Process, which really goes more deeply into what makes an election. How does it work? some of the background. So
Yes.
that's exciting too. I think a lot of people might be interested in that.
I think they will. I'm excited to offer it. It's something we actually offered before the state primary election that happened in September. So we did this once in August, had a really great turnout, really great questions. So again, the focus of this event is to touch on all of the processes that go into administering elections and certifying the outcomes. So we'll talk about things like voting methods. So if folks want to learn how to vote by mail or early in person or in person on election day, we'll kind of talk through what that means. What happens when they come in? What happens to their ballot once they've marked it? How does it ultimately get counted and factored into the results? We'll talk about how election equipment is certified and maintained and purchased, how it's transported, how we kind of maintain the safety and security of the equipment, how we transport ballots, how we certify election results. So again, it's kind of that nitty gritty that maybe most people don't think of when they come in and they mark their ballot and they place it in our tabulator to be counted.
But there's so many pieces to the whole process.
Yes, there are.
Okay.
And folks have been interested in it. So we figure we'll get the information to them straight from the source.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. So that date is when?
Thursday, October 10th.
Okay.
Also here at the Community Center.
All right.
That one will be from 5 to 7 p.m.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's in the multipurpose room also?
Yes, also in the multipurpose room. Yes.
Excellent. Well, these both sound very, very informative, and I'm sure that there will be people who will be very interested.
I hope so. It's great to see folks out and asking questions and really participating fully in the process.
Yes, and thank you so much for really making it more accessible and more clear about what people need to do and what's going on with the whole shebang.
Thank you. Yeah, we have a great team and we want folks to feel comfortable asking us questions, talking to us. We love to talk with voters.
And for people to feel comfortable on election day coming in as well.
It's the most important thing.
It is.
Yes.
Very important.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us about it.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Thank you.
This is Dinah Lane for the Harwich Channel, here with Emily Mitchell, the Town Clerk of Harwich. Thank you so much.